Everybody, Slow9 here. Welcome back to another episode. And today we're going to talk about a favorite console of mine and the reason why it is. So I have so many favorite consoles. I can name off so many of them. Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, Wii, PS1, PS2, PS3, original Xbox, Sega Genesis, Sega Dreamcast, but there's only one console that I haven't named in there throughout most of those, and it is my number one favorite console. Switch is also one of my favorites, but still, my main favorite, it's got to be the Xbox 360. Yeah, no, this is the E version, but still, Xbox 360 is probably my most favorite. There's reasons why I did that. Mainly it's just the games, because I have a stack of games that I want to go through. There's a huge stack of games. I have to go through a couple of these before I start going through others. But I'll explain why it's my favorite. So the Xbox 360 was released in 2005. And that was the 20 gig, which was the core, and then the arcade. I'm pretty sure there was a core bundle and probably, or some kind of arcade bundle. One with the 20 gigabyte hard drive, and then one with the 256 megabyte memory card. Those models were prone to overheating, and Microsoft actually had a lawsuit out where they extended the warranty on the console for up to 3 years, up until 2007 when they revised the motherboards. Then in 2010 they released the Xbox 360S, the Slim, and had a revised motherboard where it was easier to use. And then in 2013, the same year, or almost the exact same year, when the Xbox One was going to be released, is when the Xbox 360E released. And I consider that not elite, but Xbox 360E as an end. And that's the way I think of it. And that's the model I own. I own a 120 gigabyte model, but still. Reasons why it's my favorite. Well, let's go back to the past. In 2011, I lost a family member that was really dear in heart to me, and, it took a while for me to get over that. In December of 2012, I received the PlayStation 3 for Christmas. But it wasn't until, I think, let me see, because 12 is when I was 18. 13 is when I was 19. 14... I was 20, 21. It wasn't until 2016 is when I owned my first Xbox 360. And it was a white model with a 20 gigabyte hard drive, which, not a lot of memory, but still, it was something. And I only picked up 2 games when I got that. And I was highly anticipated on one of these. I'm going to explain one of them first. The first game I got, which was WWE. It wasn't 12, it was actually 13, but I'm just showing off the WWE game. And I played the crap out of it. I actually beat the game fully. It had a WrestleMania mode. This does too, which I have not beaten this yet, but I'm on the way to beating it. And then the game that I was highly anticipating on was Final Fantasy 13, which I just adore this game so much. But the reason why I got this console, it took a lot of negativity out. I was having traveling issues. I was working a lot. I was living with different roommates. I was having financial issues at the time, and this was the only way I could cope with that. I was having family problems at the time, and at that point in time, that was the only thing I could look forward to, was playing those 2 games. Eventually, I got more games when I did, and those were really the only 2 games that I really, really just enjoyed, and I played those for like months, and then I finally beat them, and I ended up getting other games. But still, I absolutely enjoyed the game so much. Other games that I have played on the 360 that I got, there were 5 games that I picked up beforehand. And this was really the first time I got to experience a real exclusive to the 360, and that was Halo. And I love Halo 3. I have beaten this game before, and I just picked it back up. And it's just such a great game. And alright, the next game I want to go over, I didn't really experience Grand Theft Auto as a kid. My mom had a PlayStation 2 where she played Grand Theft Auto 3, San Andreas, Vice City. I never got to really experience that as a kid, and I played it over a friend's house, Grand Theft Auto 4. I never got to experience it on my own until I purchased Grand Theft Auto 5. And, yeah, there's the game. I never got to experience it until I purchased this on my own. And I just absolutely adore the game. I love it. It's a fantastic game. Another one that I didn't get to experience. So, on PlayStation, I played a game called Gran Turismo. And I didn't like where you had to get your license and all this other crap you had to do. I really didn't like that. I wanted a more arcadey, but a simulation game. And that's when I picked up Forza. The first one I actually ended up picking up was Forza Motorsport 2, but I love Forza Motorsport 3 more than anything. Probably my favorite one of the whole series. And then the last one that I picked up, the last 3 series that I picked up on the 360 when I did, and I'm so happy I did. And I can't wait to beat them. Well, I've already beaten one of them, but still, I can't wait to beat them all over again. And that was the Gears of War franchise. And I'm a huge Gears of War fan. But the 360 really, took dark times out of me, and it really explained to me. I used to play with a best friend of mine. His name is Sam. Y'all have heard me talk about him on the channel before. Eventually, me and him are going to show off our favorite consoles, and I'm really going to be explaining this big time over again. Me and him actually were texting the other night about this, our favorite consoles, and we were just having a good conversation about it. But besides the point, we're actually in the preparations of making that video soon. I haven't really made anything for that video, but that's a different video. But the 360 has really paved the way of how I game today, and the 360 has a lot of everything that I absolutely love, but it has something on here that I absolutely love more than anything, and whenever I get my hands on it, and this brand down here, even though this is backwards, but it's Square Enix. Square Enix is my favorite game company, mainly because of the Final Fantasy series. I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, and I just absolutely love RPGs, and the 360 had a ton of them. Had Final Fantasy, Star Ocean, Eternal Sonata, Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, Infinite Undiscovery. There's plenty of them. Oh man, I could think of some more. Skyrim. Final Fantasy 13-2, Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 6. I think I'm still forgetting some, I'm pretty sure. I know I'm forgetting some. Tales of Vesperia, Magna Carta 2. I can't think of any other ones, really. But there was a Mass Effect series, there you go. The XCOM series. There were so many different RPGs on the 360, and I'm a huge RPG fan, and this console had a lot of RPGs. The other kind of gamer that I love that's also on the 360 is I'm a huge fighting fan. And I love Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That's probably my favorite game on the system. If it's not that, then it's Soul Calibur 4, which I currently own, which is in the back. There's different other ones that I absolutely love. I'm okay with Street Fighter, depending on the Street Fighter game. I absolutely love Street Fighter 3, and I definitely love Street Fighter 4. They're probably my 2 favorite Street Fighter games of probably all time. When it comes to first-person shooters, probably just Black Ops 2, but still. That was actually the actual first console I actually got to experience Call of Duty with. Another game that I don't own on the 360, I own it digitally, but I'm about to buy it physically, but still, is Resident Evil. I never got to experience Resident Evil on PlayStation, and I absolutely adore it on the 360. Another game franchise that I never got to adore on PlayStation until years later, that was in, 2013, 2012, 2013, and that was the Tomb Raider series. Well, it wasn't until years later that I got a reboot of the whole entire series, Tomb Raider, and absolutely loved that game. There were just so many different games that I just absolutely love on the 360. And the 360 has paved the way for how I game today. Even though it has so many different kinds of different games. Mostly more mature and adult games, but it has a lot of great games that I just absolutely love on the system. Without a doubt, one of the greatest game consoles of all time. I was never an Xbox Live fan, though, to be honest with you. I'm not much of the playing games online. I'm more of the person who likes the single-player experience or some local multiplayer. But 360 all the time. And I'm not a huge sports fan either. Depends on the sports game, like NBA Jam or something like that, arcadey style. But, yes, this console really paved the way of how I am about gaming today. And that's all that I can really say about the 360. It's a fantastic console. But it did pave the way of how I've matured, and it has paved the way for how I collect now, and it has paved for the way for the things that I do today. And I have to thank the Xbox 360 for this. And let me see what year this model. Let me see what model year this one is. This one came out in December 22nd. No, sorry, October 22nd. I don't know where I got December. October 22nd, 2013. This is one of the last models released of the 360, and this is a fantastic console. I mean, fantastic. I love this console so much. This is a fantastic console, man. Absolutely fantastic. But overall, fantastic game console. I highly recommend this to anybody. Tell me in the comments, what is your favorite console? Tell me what your favorite 3 games are, which I'm about to explain that real fast. I count Gears of War as one thing. Final Fantasy 13, Gears of War, and where is it at? And Halo 3. But still. Tell me what your favorite games are on the 360, or tell me what your favorite console is. Tell me what your favorite 3 games are. Just throw it in the comments below. Also, like and subscribe. You can also visit my channel to view any other videos. You can go to www.youtube.com/Slow Show 9. Thanks, everybody.